What is up, Mets fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Mets'd podcast. We got more Mets spring training baseball. We got pitching to talk about. Nolan McLean throwing absolute ched. Jonah Tong, another pitch. We're seeing a lot of our pitching prospects. We're seeing some at-bats from some hitting prospects. We're getting Francisco Alvarez at-bats. A lot of things going on. Excited to talk about it with you guys. Make sure you are subscribed to the Mets'd podcast so you don't miss out on anything over on YouTube. And if you are listening to us, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, drop us a rating, drop us a review, download, and subscribe. We appreciate you. Our boy Ryan Lambert keeps going. That's our obligatory Ryan Lambert conversation every single time. WBC preview. Where do you want to start, James?
I mean, again, I like what we did last time, the quick spring training run around. The people liked it too. Just kind of all the interesting things we've seen over the past week, just kind of word vomit yap at you guys. I think the most interesting thing, at least for me by far, was probably Nolan McLean somehow. Like just the fact that I'm still to be this intrigued and this interested by him, and for him to come out with new toys again, kind of like in spring training is... I try sometimes to conceptualize and think about his ceiling, and it kind of makes my head spin and makes my head hurt, and I got to lay down and close my eyes because I don't even want to let my mind go to those places.
Well, I was in Vegas for the weekend, and when McLean pitched, and you texted me while it was going on, and we have the game on because we're betting on everything while we're there, anything possible. Love betting spring training games, and you see Nolan McLean start throwing 98, and you text me about it. And I'm like, I mean, if he's throwing 98, he might just win a Cy Young.
I mean, if he throws 98, he could just be Paul Skeens. I didn't say that, but
he didn't say it. He was quiet.
Just to give a sense, and that start by McLean, his last spring training game, which is almost like a week ago at this point. It's a big blur over the last few days. He threw 30 fastballs and sinkers. 18 of those 30 were at least 96 miles per hour. And just to give a sense of why that's a big deal, because last year he threw 304 combined fastballs and sinkers, and only 80 of them were at least 96 miles per hour. So in this one, to have more than half of them be over 96 miles per hour, and last year, way under a third, that's a stark change for Nolan McLean.
It's a huge difference, and it really can be the difference maker for him being a very good frontline starter to just being like an ace, one of the best pitchers in baseball, because we know the secondary stuff is so ridiculously good, out of control. If that fastball and that sinker is hitting 98, like we're looking at it like, is this happening?
And then also, like, if the sweeper is 86 now instead of 84, and then that the cutter going up to 94 instead of being 91, and like even the fact that the sinker, especially to sit, for that pitch to sit above 96 miles per hour, which is a tick and a half above where it was last year. And again, this was a relatively abbreviated outing. It was 4 innings. Yeah. So in terms of what the guy's going to be doing this point in the spring, he was so efficient that the 4 innings happened, I think, in under 65 pitches. So that's probably the line we're looking at. And he's ramping up. He's getting hot for WBC. We know that. But just the fact that sinker becomes like a nearly 80 grade pitch if it has the movement that he has on it, and then it sits at 96 miles per hour, a few ticks above the league average for a right-handed pitcher throwing a sinker. Like it's getting to the point where, again, it's kind of foolish. And it's easy to forget that last year was his first year fully pitching ever in his life. So there are really big opportunities for him to learn new things. Like just the focusing on an offseason of training just to be a pitcher physically, like that could make your velocity jump up a whole tick like in a year. And his velocity jumping up a whole tick is a massive deal. And it's kind of amazing to think about like where he's gone in a short period of time and where he still can go.
Yeah, and you also mentioned a little WBC stuff because he's going to be pitching, I think, against Italy, which I think is the 4th game of the pools. And then the next time that he would pitch would be the championship. Mark DeRosa said that if they make it to the finals, which Team USA should relatively easily, Nolan McLean would be the pitcher for Team USA in the World Baseball Classic finals, which is kind of crazy for a guy who I thought was originally going to be coming out of the pen.
I mean, why not though? Like he is one of the best pitchers in Major League Baseball. Yeah. And the scary part about all of this actually is that his first workouts for Team USA were pushed back because he was experiencing vertigo-like symptoms, which I do not want to hear that. That would no. We want to get that as far away from all of this as possible. That's a very serious thing for a baseball player. Can't have that on. But it's just to see him in that. I mean, also, I don't think we could see. I think that game against the Astros was one of the ones that wasn't broadcast because we've had not a lot of spring training games in the last week actually on television available for us to watch, which sucks about this part of spring training. But still, it's just to see that, getting that data on him and seeing what he's able to do is just gives me a tickle.
Yeah, we also got to talk about Jonah Tong, too, if we're going to talk about the data and what we're seeing. Jonah Tong just releasing new pitches, it seems like, every single game now, which is really, really cool because, again, we know that the fastball changeup are going to be great, but he really needs a third pitch. He needs something that moves glove side. We saw the cutter. We're seeing a little bit of a sinker. We're also seeing a bit of a new curveball that I believe they're describing as having the death ball type movement, which is kind of interesting from a curveball perspective.
It definitely is. We talked about that with Tong, too, coming as over the top as he does, how difficult the slider grip, throwing a ball like you have to throw a slider is. So the fact that he can get the depth on it. But I do want to shout out the fact that he's already not made a tweak on the color we saw last time we talked to you guys, but it's possibly just throwing a different pitch, something that's a little bit more sliderish. We mentioned how that color, we threw it last time. It was nice to see him spam it, but didn't really look that great. He was able to throw it in zone a lot, but it got crushed for a home run by Nolan Gorman, and it didn't really move horizontally to the left as much as he actually would have liked. This time, he took a little bit off it. It did actually get to the other side. It did actually have some horizontal movement. It's at 87.5. Last time it's at 91.5. Last time it had 15 inches of induced vertical break. This time it had 8 inches on average of induced vertical break. This time it had 4 inches of horizontal break. Last time it didn't even actually break horizontally. It stayed 1 inch to his arm side. And this time it did have a little bit less of an in-zone rate, but he got more swings and misses on it. It wasn't. I don't think it actually was put in play in this game against Nicaragua on Tuesday. So it's just, again, we've heard that he has a lot of things that he's ready to experiment with. So it's nice that he's using this time in spring training to be like, here I'm going to spam this one. And also he threw 20 of them today, and he threw 54 total pitches. So again, it's like, I'm going to throw the shit out of this pitch and see if it can work.
Yeah, it's just exciting that you can see that these Mets pitchers, these young guys now working with Willard and everybody in the organization, just seems like there is a wanting and I don't want to say a need, but like to continue to get better. Last year was not good enough. What we've done so far isn't going to be where we end up as pitchers. I love seeing Tong tinker with new pitches. We joke about it all the time, how he was one of the fastest risers because he takes in information so well, made the tweaks, made changes, and it seems like he's just able to try new pitches in the middle of the game after like a week of pitching.
And this is what you're supposed to do with this time. Like, these games do not count. Like, I was getting replies to my tweet about it today being like, dude, he still got blown up. This guy sucks. And it's like, the results do not matter right now. Like, this is the second time he's ever thrown a pitch like this in a game setting ever, to our knowledge. And the fact that he made these changes on it, looked this good, and it's clear that that is the goal, is to get something that just simply moves left. And finally, he got something that moved left today, and he still had that firmer curveball, death ball, like we said before. It got registered today as a knuckle curve, so I'd be curious if we get comments from him or from Willard or from Mendoza about what the intent of that pitch actually was. And at the same time, his command is still all over the place. There's a sharpness that's lacking, and the fact that we saw a sinker is kind of cool too.
Very
because
cool.
We've kind of lamented the fact that Tong sometimes gets forced to throw his fastball low because that's kind of the only way to tunnel it off these other off-speed pitches, secondaries, breaking balls that he has. You'd love to live in a world where you can get that pitch up in the zone. So maybe then the sinker can be the thing that is low in the zone, and the bridge slider kind of works in a way where you can keep that fastball up. There's a lot of ways for this all to work. Maybe it's hard to see it right now, but just he's getting himself closer to a spot where we feel like it can be done. He can actually take that big leap.
Yeah, which would be really, really nice for the Mets moving forward. Just being able to get the Jonah Tong that we saw in the minor leagues and get some more production out of him would be huge for this. We kind of like talked about all offseason too, the fact that there might be a 6-man rotation here because of guys like Kodai Senga, because of Jonah Tong, because of Christian Scott, because of Sean Manaea, because of all the arms that the Mets have. We've kind of joked about how a 6-man rotation might make sense. Ron Darling does not agree. He thinks you got to go 5-man. But that's, you know what? I respect that. That's old school baseball. He's like, we went 5-man. Why do you need to go 6? I think part of the reason why, though, is Tobias Myers just looks really good. And it seems like there's no way he's not in this rotation. I don't know how you see what he's shown us so far, see the improvements that he made, and be like, I don't know if he should be a starter, come opening day.
He's also 7 right now. He's not even 6.
I know. That's what's crazy about this.
But there is a situation where I still don't know how. And again, you're not coddling these guys. They're men. They're professional athletes. They're baseball players. Like, who does leave the rotation? Like, it would be, again, not that this stuff matters, but like it'd be a dick move to kick David Peterson out of the rotation in his contract year. Like, Sean Manaea is the highest paid pitcher on the staff. You're gonna bite the bullet on that one and put him in the pen. Like, Senga probably still has the 3rd highest ceiling of any guy who's in the rotation now. You're going to give up on that. And like Clay Holmes, he's the guy actually out of these 4 I can't kick out right now.
He's just so good.
That's not Chad Innings either. He's too good at it. I understand Ron's point, and again, obligatory schedule mention that we don't need a 5th or a 6th starter for like a month. So I get that. And with that, just because we still haven't seen a ton of game action for most of the guys we just said.
No, almost nothing.
It seems like the ramp up will still be slow. I really think that the Mets are going to be funky and weird 2, 3, 4 innings with these guys early on. That's how we kind of carry 7 pitchers in a time we only need like 4.5 really. I really have no idea how this is going to shake out.
Yeah, because like you said, like you can't take David Peterson out of the rotation. You're not going to do that. Sean Manaea is your highest paid guy. Like, where does it actually happen? I have no idea. I have no clue. But again, great problem to have. Not something I'm really ever accustomed to as a Mets fan. You as well, being like, well, got a lot of starting pitchers. What do we do with them?
And again, that's always the kiss of death. We're having this conversation now, and like we know we're going to see Hageman and Waddell on May 16th. But if you had to right now say on September 1st, who's the Mets' third best starting pitcher? Who's your pick?
On September 1st, who's the Mets' third best starting pitcher? I tend to give Kodai some slack, and I know that feels kind of crazy, but last year was so weird, and it really did happen after the injury. Like the wheels completely fell off. We know that 1 ERA he had in the year was complete fakakta. Like that wasn't true at all. But like at the same time, he still was way better than he was in the second half prior to the injury, and we've seen him for times be a phenomenal pitcher. I'm not ready to give up on him just yet. I think it's a little bit frustrating, and again, we got to see what he's got. But that's probably still going to be my pick just because we've seen the heights, and I do think it is repeatable for Kodai Senga to do that again still.
I don't disagree with you, but at the same time, doesn't it feel like of this whole group, he has by far the best upside as a reliever?
Without a doubt, because you put him in the pen, he's just going to throw 99, and he's going to have he can literally be a two-pitch pitcher out of the pen. He can just be fastball, ghost fork.
And he'd be a really good one because, I dropped the quotes from Willard a few episodes ago, the fact that Kodai is motivated and he's set to be a power pitcher this season. He knows he's his best when that fastball's up high because that is his only real, but it's the cutter too, but the cutter relies on velocity for him as well. Like you need velocity for those pitches. And the fact that he is still kind of obsessive about his health, he had that quote right when pitchers and catchers reported, "What's your goal this spring? Not get injured." Like it's kind of the thing where it's like the self-fulfilling prophecy. Like you're so obsessed with not getting injured, like it seems like it's just on your brain. You might just happen. Like, you don't want to get injured, but you're really putting into the universe a lot, Kodai. You're reverse manifesting right now. If he could pump 99 with the ghost fork, I think he could be the best reliever. One of the best. Like he could be the 10th best reliever in the league, kind of thing. Is it
crazy? Like, let's have a conversation too now about the other guys. Is it crazy to say that I could believe in Sean Manaea as well as maybe that third guy again, just because as bad as it was down the stretch, he still was weirdly striking guys out. It's just he hit that fifth inning wall so hard and so spectacularly horrible where he just couldn't get through the fifth inning and they forced him to. But like those first 4 innings of most of those games, there were times we were looking at Sean Manaea and he was absolutely dealing. That's what made it even more confusing when the wheels completely came off.
The irony is that that's a bit of who Sean Manaea was the 2 years before he came to the Mets.
Literally.
And then
your entire joke was that he was 5 and dive.
And I said that too much, and then he made me look like an asshole. And then all of a sudden he goes back to it once I started believing in him, that's just classic. But that kind of is like, is it more valuable for 4? Is it more valuable to go crazy for 2? And then like the one guy who I do think also has maybe the biggest gradient between how good I think they are as a starter and how good they could be as a reliever kind of is Peterson in a weird way. We've seen Peterson have really good spurts out of the bullpen early in his career. He wasn't able to sustain. He wasn't as much of a strike thrower back then. But watching him hit the wall last year, again, didn't come until he got to like 125, 130 innings, which is this day and age, like for a starting pitcher, that's kind of a median outcome, which is sad, but it's true about Major League Baseball at this point in time. He's a guy where he could probably just benefit so much from 1.5 miles, 2 miles per hour in every single pitch. And we now, at least to not, again, totally screw him over, to have his agent throw a fit if this were to happen. Like we have seen a lot of these pitchers who are in the bullpen just very easily sign contracts as starting pitchers and just do that. It really doesn't, it definitely hurts guys in the open market, but I don't think it hurts as much as it might have 10 years ago.
Yeah, he got to about 130 innings with a sub-3 RA for the year, David Peterson. And that's going to be more innings than the previous year. Maybe that's also something that makes me believe that he could be that third guy because maybe he just needs to get stronger. And maybe, because like previous years, it was like, 100 innings. Then it was 8. Before that, it was 80. Like that's how many he had of good innings. Now maybe it's 150. Like maybe he just gives us more good innings. Because let's be honest, if you can give me a sub-3 RA for 127 innings, it's like almost unfathomable he finished with an ERA above 4. How does that even happen?
I think I'm also a little bit more bullish on David Peterson's fastball than probably most people or most pitch models are, just because it doesn't throw it hard. Again, he throws that pitch 92 miles an hour or whatever. He does have the natural cut shape I think a lot of teams are searching for right now. It's not...
It cuts?
Oh, yeah, it got a little cut on it.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I would have thought just naturally coming from the left side, it's going to go arm side.
Because his arm angle it's like it's much more 3/4 than side armor over the top, which would give it some natural cut. But he does get a little bit more cut than where his arm slot would indicate. I think that's a shape right now a lot of teams are seeking. You kind of hear about the cut right fastball a lot, and we know right now the Mets are one team, the Brewers are another. These two, sisterhood of traveling pants, just love cutters in general. And I think we saw Cade Horton have an amazing rookie season last year on the backs of his natural cut four-seam fastball. So I do think that him having that, if you could juice that baby to 94, like you could just find something there. Like, guys, I don't know how this is all going to work out. It's funny that Ronnie's talking about this in the spring training broadcast because, like we said last week, this was Ronnie and Gelbs this week. Last week was a lot of Murph and Gary. These become podcasts after the fourth inning.
Yes,
guys just speaking their mind. Ron told a story about how he used to work like bar mitzvahs and kids parties in the off seasons when he was trying to pay for his apartment in New York City, like during when he wasn't playing.
Crazy.
Yeah, and he said he learned a lot about. I think he said about like the city because he was going to Queens, Bronx, Brooklyn, parts of Jersey, and the fact that he got to learn a lot more about New York, which is great. But again, these guys are just yapping. In the app sesh, he mentioned the fact that he wants a 5-man rotation, not a 6-man. It's just interesting to hear these things from these guys.
Yeah, we know that the 6-man has been tried before, and it typically doesn't work. But man, there's so many starters. Like I want to use them. I want to use them properly.
It can work sometimes. There also could be a world where sometimes the back of the rotation's on the 6-man, the front of the rotation's on the 5-man.
True. Yeah, Freddy Peralta should be pitching every fifth day.
Yes,
Nolan McLean should be pitching every fifth day. Sean Manaea and Kodai Senga might need an extra day. That's okay.
Also, especially because McLean is workload-wise kind of shockingly ahead of where most pitchers are with his little pitching experience in the major leagues. Like the fact that last year he got himself up to 165 innings, 160 innings.
Impressive.
So that's you should be ready for, again, to do that again, get up to 170, get up 180, be a horse if your body allows it. He's going to be throwing more harder innings at WBC right now, so I could see his workload being curtailed a bit in April, but it's a lot of Mendoza's plate right now to try and work out how this rotation will be worked out, and it's got his work cut out for him a bit.
Yeah, especially because we're even seeing the guys behind the 7 that we mentioned, where it's we saw Wenninger again, and he looks really good again. Just a prospect that seems like he's going to pan out for the Mets, which is pretty awesome again, considering he was not a highly touted prospect by any means.
No, it's fun to have a guy like Wenninger and Tong right now next to each other. And we kind of felt this way about Sproat before Sproat was traded, where Tong, anything can happen.
Yes.
Tong could be one of the 10 best pitchers in the league, or Tong could be a reliever. And if either of those happen, I wouldn't really be shocked. Wenninger seems like a very low variance guy.
Super low.
This guy's going to be a 3-4 starter in perpetuity, no matter what. That last spring start, he really lost command of his breaking stuff. He couldn't really locate the slider or the curve, but I'm really impressed by his fastball quality. I didn't think his four-seamer would be this good, especially, and the sinker is really nice. The splitty is very reliable. Just having those 3 pitches any day of the week, you can get through most lineups 2 times.
You easily can get through lineups. That you could be 5 innings every single time you go out there.
I really am starting to wonder. Because again, I still have a lot of faith in the long term of Tong, but it just seems like there's a bit more of a winding road to get him to where he needs to be this season. I'm wondering if the way things work out, if Wenninger gets that spot start before Tong does.
Probably not, right? Because he's not on the 40-man?
No, he's not on the 40-man. You're right. That's probably the biggest thing about it. And we still have Christian Scott. We still haven't really. I want to see a little more Christian Scott. I'm waiting to see a little more Christian Scott.
More. Yeah, a lot of the guys we got questions about, we're not seeing.
No, yeah, Kodai. Please, Kodai. Give me some StatCast data. Let me look what the Braves just did with Spencer Strider. I think the media firestorm that's come from possibly, allegedly turning off the radar gun for his live BP, and then him coming on the mound and throwing 92 is maybe I just don't want to deal with that. And again, we're seeing Clay Holmes throw the curveball again. A lot of these things are just fun. It's just it's just so many guys, and I don't know what they're all going to do.
Let's talk about the offense a little bit, because we have a position battle. Right field, right? It's between Carson Bench, MJ Melendez, and Mike Tauchman, which is a kind of hilarious sentence.
Little words vomit.
Out loud. Imagine telling a Met fan in November that was going to be who's fighting for right field. I think some people, again, if they're listening to this, might crash their car. But, I don't think Bench is going to get it out of opening day. Every single day that passes, I think it's less and less likely, and it's not really because of anything that he's doing. Tauchman and Melendez are playing really good ball.
Shockingly good ball right now. It's amazing to watch these. especially Melendez. I've been just especially impressed that he's really able to handle the outfield well. Enough.
I wonder, because could this be an eye test thing though?
Could totally be an eye test thing.
Could we be getting eye tested right now?
Oh, I could 100% be going through my confirmation bias just because I simply like the guy and want him to pan out. So seeing all this happen kind of makes sense in my brain. But he's hitting the piss out of the ball right now. Like all this stuff happening together. I'm getting his Statcast data right now just for the spring. I got his percentiles loading up for me right now. Where is it? No results.
I'll get Talkman's while you're doing it.
Yeah, you might as well, because I don't know. I kind of like watching MJ Melendez play some ball.
To be fair, again, a little peek behind the curtain. James had been texting me all offseason about MJ Melendez that he's like, I think he could catch on with a team. Like, there might be something there. And then when the Mets signed him, we couldn't even do the classic David Stearns is listening because we definitely didn't mention it on this podcast.
I think I might mention it briefly. But, I mean, also the thing about Melendez is that all signs point to him also starting in AAA because he has an option.
Correct.
He's on a split contract. That's something that just has to happen. But he's taken 11 plate appearances. The strikeout rate's under 18%. He's his hard hit rate, 22% is actually pretty low, but he's lifting his hard hit balls. The barrel rate's high. Again, this is not an indicative sample of really anything at all, but just the fact that he's not swinging and missing a ton, and he's really taking advantage of the contact that he's making is like, he looks like a capable major league bench bat who could be a strong side platoon and run into one. Like, that's a nice thing to have.
Yeah, and with Talkman on the other side, similarly, like he's going to give you he's going to be so fine out in right field. He's going to be so fine on the base paths. He's going to get on base. He might pull one down the line for a home run. It's a pretty pretty medium floor, low ceiling guy, which is probably exactly what you want when you have one of the best prospects in baseball in the wing waiting to get called up.
And not wanting to put the most pressure in the world on him, but every time Bench is on the field, he just does something good. Like, he's
good ball player.
I like that you comped him to young Christian Yelich last time. I think that's incredibly fair for the type of player profiles to be. Like, I would be shocked if even if he plays in 160 games, if he were to pop 20 home runs.
I would be surprised, yes.
Or next. I just think that he's going to take good at-bats. He's going to be a plus athlete on the field. He's going to steal base. He's going to play good defense. It's a cannon for an arm. Like, this is an exciting position about. Like, this is what spring training is all about.
I mean, it took Yelich. I'm looking at his thing right now. How old is Benj exactly?
He's turning 23. He just turned 23 in January. He's 23.
Okay, yeah. I mean, in his 24-year-old season, that was the first time Christian Yelich hit more than 20 first time he hit double-digit home runs, he happened to hit 21. But it did take him about 330 games to hit 20 home runs. It actually took him exactly 332 games to hit the first 20 home runs of his career. Like, I don't think I'm not wishing this on Benj, but like if you told me there was a world where like he played a full season and had like 11 or 12 home runs this year, but like a 350 on base, I would totally buy that.
A 350 on base. Of course, if he's a 350 on base this year, I'm going to buy his jersey 100%.
Where do you think his on base would be? Because
325. Like, it's.
You just don't think he's going to get on base like that? I feel like his plate discipline's great.
I think of this too, but I think as a rookie, your first time through the league, if you have a 350 on base your first time through the league, like that's like almost Roman Anthony.
Christian Yelich had 370.
Christian Yelich won MVP. Yeah, Christian Yelich is awesome.
At 26.
Damn,
Christian Yelich was 26 10 years ago. Damn.
Yeah, Christian Yelich injuries kind of he's like low key the modern David Wright, where injuries super derailed, who could have been an easy Hall of Famer.
God, he was so good those 2 years with the Brewers, the first two.
Yeah, I'm hoping for 330 on base percentage from Carson Bench this year.
Give me Carson Bench at 350.
I mean, if you want to set the line at 332, that could be a fun over-under for us. I don't want to root against the guy, but I just think statistically that would be improbable. Also, just the way the rest of this lineup is coming together. Like, I'm going hardcore with the fantasy baseball content right now. I'm taking in a lot of other people's great fantasy work that they're doing. Everyone's talking about Jorge Polanco in fantasy baseball.
Yeah, of course.
People can't stop talking about that guy. The fact that he's hitting fourth on this team, he's going to have second base and first base eligibility. Like, him and Luis Robert are ricocheting up draft boards at this moment.
Yeah, you know who else should be going up there too? Francisco Alvarez should be flying up boards too, because it looks like he's going to hit towards the middle of the lineup. There's going to be so many guys on base. This is something that's really nice about this lineup, as opposed to the last couple of years, that even the guys towards the bottom are just going to have the ability to make some noise, do something.
Oh, yeah.
And even if it's Talkman or Benj or Melendez hitting ninth in this order, that's phenomenal. Like, Talkman, there's a chance our 9-hitter for the first month and a half has like a 340, 350 on base percentage. Or if you just put my boy Carson Benj, you'll have it for the whole year.
Same thing. I think the highlight of the last week of Mets baseball was the Francisco Alvarez ABS challenge.
Yes. Before he even calls it a strike, he's like, give me that.
One of the writers, I think was Laura Albany, said, I think Francisco Alvarez almost gave himself a concussion trying to challenge the ball and strike. And if you guys are lifers, like day ones of the Mets'd podcast, Francisco Alvarez was one of the first interviews with a player we ever did. And that was in Brooklyn with the Cyclones 5 years ago in 2021.
Oh, God.
Let's talk about time flying for Mark and I, as we just both turned 30. But he talked about, I think one of us asked him, I think me or you asked him about his exposure to the ABS system and how he used it to his advantage in the field and at the plate. And he kind of waxed poetic about his own understanding of the strike zone. The fact that he was using ABS when he was 19, 18 years old in the Florida State League, and now he's able to take this to the pros, like the guys like that, the younger players, might be better with the ABS in some situations than the older players. And there might
huge advantage.
There might be a weird power dynamic in some clubhouses about who uses those challenges, because a lot of these young players literally have far more experience with this than the old guys.
I mean, the hierarchy clearly goes. Juan Soto challenge. He should have every right to challenge every single pitch that ever comes. I truly believe that he knows the strike zone better than anybody in baseball probably right now. Yeah. He's number one. Lindor's got to be number two. Who would you put at three? I definitely am not putting Bo Bichette high up there.
I don't think Bo Bichette gets any until Memorial Day. He's got to prove it first.
And also, he's taking war hacks up there. He doesn't give a shit if that gets called the ball. He's swinging.
Love Bo Bichette. Can't wait to root for Bo Bichette this year. But I think Alvarez is the guy who should get a lot of these challenges. His sense of the zone is sensational on this team.
And we saw towards the end of the year, too, like the patience and the walk rate and everything flying up the list. Like, it's just nice to see that our young catcher, if it feels like this is the year, as long as he stays healthy, I think we're going to start to like get a little excited.
Don't tell anybody that, because it's not going around enough yet. But I think that's when a hitter becomes really mature, and when you could take that next step is when you're able to be selective in the zone.
Yes,
you're not afraid about hitting behind the count. You're not afraid about managing that bat with two strikes.
That's the whole Seager thing, right?
Yeah, that's Seager. Selective aggressiveness. And that's also why Julio Rodriguez still can't even take that next step, even though he's one of the 5 best players in the league. He just
in terms of pure talent, yes. Yeah. And then Luis Robert 6th.
Yes. And now, let's see, a couple other things I want to mention. Our boy Christopher Suero, future top 100 prospect, couple moonshots.
Guaranteed future top 100 prospect. It's, again, like I think a lot of the prospect people are already hip to him. Whenever MLB Pipeline decides to be hip to him, you'll find out, because there's not a lot of prospects that do it. Our Bronx Dalton Varsho, he's a fun little player.
And that's going to be the whole thing that actually could make him a top 100 prospect. If he gets game reps in center field this year, and he's been better at left than he ever was at first, and he still isn't even bad behind the plate. He has a fucking cannon, and he's a beast, and he's fast as hell. Like if they can put him in center field and he shows any level of instinct, like that's how you actually do this, because like the raw power is crazy, like almost 75-mile-per-hour bat speed. Today's home run on Tuesday, 110, 420 feet. Like that's just to be able to do that is like, take this to the next level, my guy, please.
Friend of the Mets'd Up podcast. I mean, sounds like everybody's getting a bump right now.
And the one thing I want to mention before we move on a little bit is there was a weird stuff about Jonah Tong today, that there was a contract that had to be renewed, I think was the exact wording that was used. And I think it's because Jonah Tong last year ended on the major league roster, but I think the intention is that he starts next year on the minor league. So I think he's allowed to basically ask for more than the minimum, but the team has no reason to give him any more than the minimum.
That's
so
weird.
I think the team gave him like an extra $1,000.
I mean, you probably should just ask for it, right? At that point?
The word from Will Sam is the Mets are renewing top prospect Jonah Tong's contracts after they were unable to come to an agreement with him on the 2026 salary. So he's a pre-arbitration player, and I think you're just simply allowed to like an agent's allowed to ask for more.
Because he was on the major league roster?
I don't know if it's necessarily because you're in the major league roster or not. I think you get more leverage if you were on the major league roster.
Gotcha.
But also, you don't really have any leverage because you're a pre-arbitration player. It's just a shitty part of the business, but the fact that headline went around, just wanted to.
Well, I'm happy you got 1,000 more than the minimum.
Yeah, possibly. I don't think we even know that for sure.
Oh,
I think that's just usually the way that structures out. I just wanted if anyone was nervous about anything, just wanted to quell any concern.
Should we media marvel?
Yeah, I got a few media marvels.
All right, hit us with your favorite one, James.
All right, definitely the favorite one because it's the most Mets-related one. There was a crazy firestorm of rumors. I think it was Saturday morning, Friday afternoon, whenever it was, that a Freddy Peralta extension was reportedly imminent. And that was not true at all. This is why you guys have to check your timelines and mute and block your aggregators.
Yeah, I mean, there's just some aggregators out there, and I'm pretty sure they even listen to this. Might even like our podcast, but man.
I think they do. I don't blame the people that run these accounts because they're instructed to do these things.
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
100%. But it was a situation where there was reference in Ken Rosenthal article about the headline was Freddy Peralta already seems at home with the Mets. Will it be a long-term one? And in that article, Ken referenced a contract projection that Tim Britton gave like a month ago that we talked about a lot in the show. And we were talking about a possible Freddy Peralta extension. And then the aggregators said, update, Freddy Peralta is projected to sign the contract that Tim Britton projected him for based on similar contracts that were signed. Like the fact that the word projected was used, projected to sign,
yes,
that That's a horrible choice of words. Even if you guys are aggregators, you got to pick the words a little more carefully than that.
Yeah, I think we got tagged in a bunch of the tweets. Like, the extension you guys are going to talk about? It's like, this is not
real.
Even real news right now. This was a projection. Doesn't mean that Freddy Peralta is signing. Doesn't even mean that the Mets offered it. So it's like...
I think I think he objectively, it seems like he wants to sign. Every time he gets asked about it,
very open.
He has a grin on his face, the size of the whole thing, and he says no comment. But
wouldn't you if your owner was the richest owner in sports?
But then there's word that Freddie wants a very long-term deal, even with lower AAV, which seems like it's against the Mets' philosophy, possibly. So we'll see. We'll see how this works out. But Will has said no serious discussions have taken place.
Yeah, and I think that makes sense. Like, it's very rare for these things to happen, but also at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if still by opening day they do get something done.
Especially because it seems like he really wants one specifically.
Yes,
it seems like he wants to make it happen. So I'm sure some conversation will happen some point before the season begins.
Can we do a quick media marvel? Just jerks and profar, idiot, stupid.
Yeah, I don't know what jerks. I mean, just
twice in a calendar year.
Got to be one of the strangest careers ever, right?
Yeah, former #1 prospect. I just stunk. Then randomly got good.
After bad shoulder injuries that killed his power, found actually a place in the league, was signed a real contract for real life, real money.
Yeah.
And he's going to blow all of it.
And he's going to completely blow all of it because he's gotten popped for PEDs twice in a calendar year. You didn't learn? Once it's a mistake, twice it's on purpose.
Did you see the tweet that the last 5 players to get suspended for PEDs all came from either the Phillies or the Braves?
Really? What a shame. Interesting.
I think the Braves were both jerks profile, but still doesn't change the fact. Doesn't change the fact.
Jose Alvarado,
Johan Rojas.
Forgot about Johan Rojas.
Max Kepler.
Dang, forgot about Max Kepler too.
It's the worst batch of steroids ever.
Jeez, yeah. I mean, not D. Gordon, another NL East guy.
These are nothing like the what was the Tony Bosch, who was the guy who when Melky and Bartolo all got popped for their steroids, and they lasted like a decade. All the guys stayed in the league forever.
I forget his name now. I think you're right though about Bosch.
Something like that. I think Tony. Or that might have been the A-Rod one.
Maybe that was the A-Rod one. You got Bosch, you got Balco, you got all these different names.
But yeah, those are the best batch of steroids ever. These are the worst batch of steroids ever. So that was crazy. Also, I don't know if anyone out there caught Chaingate.
Oh, yeah. I was just about to bring up the Dan Clark tweet.
Yeah, I mean, Dan Clark, if you guys still follow Dan Clark, unfollow him. It's like, talk about the worst account on baseball Twitter.
Yeah, it's bad.
Max Clark, a very, what's the word for Max Clark? He's a bit of a flashy prospect, I'd say.
Yeah, probably flamboyant's not the right word, but I want to say, man, what is that word? He's got swag. He's swaggy.
He's flashy. He's flashy.
Yeah, flashy.
He is flashy. He misplayed the fly ball in spring training, which is okay. I think he's 21 years old. He's a big time prospect.
High skies.
He's going to be a great player. Dan Clark goes, Max Clark is a clown. He deserves all the criticism he gets. And, first of all, last name bros.
Yeah.
You can't be mean to your last name, bro.
That's crime.
Highly touted, but still 21, barely above mediocre in the minors. In parentheses, 810 OPS.
Barely above mediocre.
That's really good.
Don't look at his age.
He's a great player. Shows up to camp looking like a fool with that much bling around his neck. Can't field for shit. Drops routine fly ball. Dumb. Max Clark is widely renowned as one of the best defensive prospects in minor league baseball right now.
Aaron Judge can't field. Dropped the fly ball. Can't field. Dog shit in the outfield.
How many chains was he wearing?
Oh, none. Forgot about that. He actually probably is wearing chains. Does Aaron Judge wear chains?
He probably wears a chain. You got to wear a chain.
Devon A-Chain. No, you got to do wear something. And then also just to kind of talk about the Yankees and then also parlay this into the Yankees accounts being absolutely locked into Mets spring training, which is just, I mean, not looking good for the Yankee accounts right now for the whole, you're the second team in New York. It's like, you watch a lot of our games, and it's because we have a lot of you guys former players. I understand that, but geez, get over it.
Yeah, what Mark's saying this is because, again, this is a week ago now. We've done an episode for you guys for a week, just making sure we get a lot of information so we can give you guys something that feels full and whole.
Yeah.
Like, you guys love the nice 45-minute episode. We strive to give it to you, but Devin Williams' first pitch in spring training as a Met, J.J. Weatherholt, another great prospect out there. You know it doesn't wear chains.
J.J. Weatherholt.
It's a baseball rat. I love J.J. Weatherholt. Shout out. If you're a
You
baseball
love him now? You like him now?
I like him as a ball player. I don't think he has the top 5 prospect ceiling that a lot of people do, but I think he's like a surefire good major leaguer for the next 10 years.
Okay.
So I like J.J. Weatherholt, but I think that sometimes he gets overranked in the prospect rankings. But if you're a baseball prospect that came from Western PA,
good for you.
You're a dog. But first pitch of Devin Williams in spring training as a Met, J.J. Weatherholt puts it over the fence. I saw 25 Yankee accounts tweet it. I'm just like, guys, like, this isn't a big deal at all. Like, hey, come on, focus up.
The aggregator game's out of control.
That's bad. It's because fucking Elon got people paid for Twitter. I mean, again, people get your money, but like, damn, it really puts some bad tweets out there because of it.
And then last shout out to the aggregators, of course, Ryan Lambert eggs. It just gets mentioned now every single time he comes on the
Sucks.
mound, and we're the first fucking people that talked about it.
Painful.
And we never get any of the credit. No, I'm not going to play be a sourpuss here, but it is very, very funny how this information had been known 4 years if you were locked into Mets'd.
But again, he wasn't a big deal yet. When he comes out pumping 100 in the spring, that's when he becomes a big deal. That's when the big national story goes around. That all makes sense. But we know that Mrs. Lambert, she knows that.
She knows we're the first.
She knows that we were first. Her, and now Mrs. Ewing has been liking my tweets about AJ. So I love that. I get the Mets prospects moms liking my tweets because I will support your sons if you guys listening to this.
I mean, imagine you see a nice young man like you, James, tweeting well about their son, just working hard.
That's what I'm saying. We all help each other out there. Those are two great young men, AJ Ewing and Ryan Lambert.
Media Marvel into a WBC preview. I'm going to start off by saying that, man, Aaron Judge's speech was horrendous, and I don't think it's his fault. I think he was forced to do it. I think that he was coerced into being the captain, and he had to then give this speech because I think Major League Baseball realized how bad they fucked up Mike Trout and how nobody knows anything about the guy and he has no personality. So I think they forced Aaron Judge to do this. Bad speech. Some people are just not motivators like that. Aaron Judge is arguably the best player on the planet. Gotta be one of the worst pump-up speeches I've ever seen.
Yeah, especially in a team where you do have some rah-rah guys like Schwarber and Harper, Bregman.
How is it not Harper? It should just be Harper who's giving that speech.
I mean, yeah, but you can't make Harper the captain when Aaron Judge is on the team. Like, Aaron Judge is so much better.
Just speak.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, all these guys could speak. And again, that's fair.
And of course, we're going to be talking about the World Baseball Classic over here on Mets'd. We love it. One of our favorites. All of our World Baseball Classic coverage is brought to you by our friends at Fox One, which is live. Stream all your Fox favorites together in one place, including all WBC games over the next few weeks. And after that, the best MLB action all season. From the World Baseball Classic through the World Series to the World Cup to NASCAR and IndyCar with Fox One, you get it all live. Start your 7-day free trial today. Offers are subject to change. Download Fox One today and stream the World Baseball Classic live March 6th through the 14th. Go to fox1.com for complete terms and conditions. Fox One streaming now. Let's talk a little bit more about the World Baseball Classic. We said Nolan McLean's going to be pitching, hopefully, in 2 of the games, which is kind of crazy. Clay Holmes is on this roster. A lot of Mets all over the World Baseball Classic in this one.
All over. Mark Vientos on Team Nicaragua. Nick Morabito is on Team Italy.
Yeah.
Robert Stock on Team Israel. Robert Stock's looked nasty in the spring, too.
Looked really good.
He might be closing for Team Israel, but it's kind of fun that we get to watch a lot of our guys. I know it does stink for Francisco Lindor that he's not able to play for Team Puerto Rico. We know how much he loves this tournament and his country, and he's hurt anyway, so again, like the insurance thing kind of got washed away by that, but I know a lot of Mets fans have an unfavorable view of the World Baseball Classic because of how it affected us personally last time. But if you're just simply a fan of high-quality baseball, baseball played crisply with passion, it's really not. This is the closest thing we have to besides the Major League Baseball playoffs.
Yeah, it's so much fun. The atmosphere is unbelievable. Again, if you were able to get yourself out to a game, if you can get to Florida, if you can get to Houston, whatever, like I know tickets are expensive, not everyone can afford that, but if you have the ability to get to a game, I truly think you will appreciate it as a baseball fan. It's so much fun. The baseball's really good. The competition's fun. It's one of the few times ever in baseball where the national team play feels like it matters to the actual fan, where like the Gold Cup or the gold medal games in the Olympics, the Premier 12, like it's a lot of amateurs playing. And I don't think many people around Major League Baseball that are fans are particularly locked into those. But the World Baseball Classic is something that like I really do hope Team USA wins. I'm going to be cheering big time for them. And even like for the other guys on the team, like Juan Soto, we saw Dominican Republic play the Tigers today and just absolutely, for lack of a better term, fuck baseballs up. Like It's so fun. You see Juan Soto dancing with Fernando Tatis Jr. That's about as close as I want him to that guy right now. We know the needles are sticky, but like, I mean, just having fun. It's pure baseball. It's exciting stuff.
We heard Gary and Murph talking about last week, where Gary, definitely an old head, again, very personal about the Mets. He was talking about how it's not something that he really, really likes that much. I think Mike Francesa, in terms of the old heads, has the greatest quote ever for how little he cares about the World Baseball Classic. This is why he's number one. He said if the World Baseball Classic was happening in his backyard, he would close the blinds. Greatest quote, one of the greatest quotes of all time, but anything, not even just sports. But
and you know what's funny too is like I feel like a lot of the old heads have like such like American pride a lot of the times. But then
Sometimes.
they hate the tournament where there's like a reason to be prideful as an American baseball fan.
Because a lot of people think it's kind of a manufactured piece of pride. Like, it doesn't have the same, like, je ne sais quoi as the Olympics, the World Cup.
So was rooting for the Mets. Like,
No, 100%. Again, I love that thing. I mean,
yeah.
also, and what Murphy came back at Gary with, he was just like, you don't get to see crisp baseball like this time of year.
No.
Like, the fact that we're going to see this high-level stuff, and again, like Mark was saying, here's some of the exit velocity we saw from Team Dominican Republic against the Tigers on Tuesday night. 118.5, 113, 112.5, 110.3, 110, 109, 108, This, I'm also just mentioning right now only Junior Caminero and Juan Soto and Ketel Marte, basically, and one Augustine Ramirez mixed in there. But these guys they play so hard for this, and I think something else that's also killed a little bit of the fervor from the American side of the World Baseball Classic is that at beginning, when these rosters were announced, people saw Skubal and Skeens. They were like, oh, my God, like we're going to get the boys there. And now we know that Skubal's only going to pitch one game against Great Britain, which is
it's not fair.
It's not right. And then the fact that, again, like Nolan McLean would be the guy who starts the championship. Like, Skeens would get his second appearance in the semifinals if USA were to get there. But Skubal had a great quote about this, too. He's just like, we know we have to manage ourselves injuries-wise, and we know if we go super hard this time of year, that's how you open yourself up to a potential injury. And these teams are so on top of these guys. There's very, very, very strict rules and regimens for every single guy who's going to this tournament. The players know that. The teams know that. The agents know that. Skubal said, like, I wish they at some point could move this to the middle of the season.
Yeah.
Because then we'd be able to actually let it rip. But we're going to see a lot of 2, 3, 4 inning appearances, and it's just going to be a lot of fun.
It's so much fun. I love the World Baseball Classic so much. And again, as it's going on, we'll make sure that we keep you guys looped in on everything with the Mets in the World Baseball Classic. We talk 45 minutes about nonsense. We'll scoot in some World Baseball Classic when it's timely.
Give a game this week that you're excited for.
USA Great Britain, come on.
Thursday night, baby, on the line.
Revolutionary War rematch, come on.
You're not excited for the Czech Republic versus Korea, 5 a.m. on Thursday?
I mean, I actually think it's more Czech Republic, Australia. Aren't they playing at 10 p.m. on Wednesday?
Oh, yeah, 10 p.m. Wednesday. No, that's, Taiwan, Australia.
Oh, Taiwan, Australia. My bad, not
on
Czech
Wednesday.
Republic. Yes.
Yeah, the Czech Republic's opener is 5 a.m. against, whoa. They play 2 games in one day, the Czechs?
Maybe because of the Japanese time.
Yeah, we have 5 a.m. Thursday, and then we have 10 p.m. on Thursday. Czech versus Australia.
That's crazy. Oh my God!
Shout out to Czechs. These guys are baseball hounds over there.
Apparently, I mean, shout out the Czechs.
USA first game is this Friday, 8 p.m. on Fox against Brazil. So we had the USA Britain game wrong. USA Great Britain is Saturday night, 8 p.m.
Well, sounds like we're not watching it Thursday.
Yeah, no, we could watch it Saturday.
Could watch it Saturday. That's definitely still in the play.
Probably Tarek Skubal versus Vance Worley, ace-off.
Oh, God. Great Britain, they shouldn't even pitch Vance Worley. They should save him for a team that they might be able to beat.
Give them, before we get rid of this and start like closing out, you guys, give a roster. Each of us give a roster that we think is better than people realize.
Chinese Taipei.
Okay, Taiwan.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying Chinese Taipei for this, but obviously they're Taiwan. Fuck the commies. But Taiwan, Chinese Taipei, whatever you want to call them, they won the Premier 12. That's like the big tournament that goes on like for the world outside the World Baseball Classic. And for them to win it, I think they beat Japan and Korea on the way there. And Japan and Korea both put out like very serious teams. Obviously the major leaguers weren't playing in it, but there's a lot of good young Chinese Taipei, Taiwanese players that I think people are going to get hip to. They have a pitcher, I think his name's like Zhou Shishu, and he throws like 98 and he's like 5'9". Like
really?
I gotta see what this guy's got.
Oh, that's awesome.
Is it Joe? I'm sorry. I definitely am not saying it right, but also maybe I am. Joe HSIHSU. So I'm assuming that's C Shu.
Could be.
Apparently, yeah, he's 5'10" and throws 98.
That's really nice.
I gotta see what that looks like.
I'll say this too. Team Italy has a bit of a squad.
And they probably the best squad they've ever had.
Bit of a squad. Team Italy is going to have a lineup. They beat the Cubs on Tuesday night, and the Cubs pitched Cade Horton. Cade Horton dominated that game. They got all the runs off Jack Neely and my boy Jeff Brigham late in the game.
Brigham.
Jacob Marcy, Vinny Pasquantino, Dominic Canzone, Jack Caglione, Kyle Teal. That's, in terms of a WBC lineup of teams that are not in the top tier, that's some ball players. They're going to have Aaron Nola pitching. They have another good pitcher I'm trying to remember right now. They have Michael Lorenzen, that's a kind of a funny one. Ron Marinaccio, Gordon Graceffo, Sam Aldieri. Like this, it's Amadavino. Like, they have enough guys where they could be like a sneaky team that reaches the Final Four, similar to how Mexico was in the last tournament, who also has a good team.
Yeah, Mexico's always good. And then I'll also shout out Cuba because of Livan Moinelo. He's disgusting. He went from being an elite MPB reliever to now being an elite MPB starter. There's debate whether he'll ever come to Major League Baseball because he doesn't want to defect for family reasons. But the dude's talented out the ass. Like, he could be a really, really good starting pitcher at the Major League level. And I want to see him pitch against Major Leaguers.
We have a last-second media marvel.
Ooh, last second. Wow.
Some random Yankee account. I don't even want to give it give them the credit to say they're at, but it's a video of Juan Soto that MLB posted shuffling in this game against the Tigers. And he goes, it's crazy how his aura instantly came back the second he's not wearing a Mets jersey.
Hasn't been watching spring training, I guess.
I just don't know. Just that's someone who kind of isn't stuck in psychosis.
Yeah, I mean, they think about us. Hate us because they ain't us. That's what they say, I believe. But I don't think we can talk anymore. That is shockingly 50 minutes of Mets'd Up podcast during spring training, WBC coverage. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for watching. Make sure you're subscribed on YouTube. If you're listening to us, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google. Drop us a rating, drop us a review, download, and subscribe. You can follow James on social media at
James Chiano.
And I'm Giraffe Nick Mark. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.
Peace out, guys. Let's go Mets.